Alright, we're live on Facebook. What's going on? And we are now live on YouTube. Such a great day. Oh man. Who's that? Crypto Q, what's going on, man? Yeah, we in here. What's up, Antonio? Oh man, it's a great day for crypto. I've been waiting for this day for years, man. Yeah, definitely. So let's go ahead and get into it. This is the Gentleman of Crypto, episode 36. You're here with Bitcoin Zay. And today, like I said before, we have some great news from, Crypto Q was fast. He got on as soon as I got on. What up, Jamal? BX in here. But one of the biggest things, of course, to come out, as you've probably seen, is the CME, the world's biggest derivative trader. Literally the biggest in the world, is starting a Bitcoin futures option for Q4 of 2017, which is, great news because most people don't realize people that were talking about an ETF and Winklevoss twins were going for it, and there's steps to get there. One of them being when you get denied. We got denied back in May. What's up, Cali Coins? How you doing, DF Kennedy? Yep, glad you could catch me live too. But you got denied for the ETF. However, with this news, it makes it more likely that an ETF from other factions will be coming soon. So I just want to say we told you so. For those of you who may have been on the fence, and for those of you who weren't on the fence, I'm sure you got friends and family that have doubted it. And now, if they are smarter than the biggest derivatives traders in the world, then so be it. But I'm pretty sure they're not. And even though Bill Gates and Richard Branson and a lot of these other people have endorsed Bitcoin, people were still kind of like, it's too risky, it's not real, people won't use it. But now they will. They absolutely will. And there's absolutely an option for people to invest in Bitcoin as far as futures and options go. I would prefer, buying it directly, having control of my private keys for the future. However, for institutional investors, usually older people who may not understand the tech, but they do understand making money, those people will probably jump right on board. And I think it's one of the biggest news stories in Bitcoin history, simply because, 2 or 3 years ago, it was murmurs, whispers about one day this will happen, one day somebody will do it. And today's the day. I also want to say happy 9th birthday. This is the 9th birthday of the original Bitcoin white paper, electronic peer-to-peer cash system. And when it was released in 2008, a lot of people didn't know about it. The liquidity and volatility are about to be ridiculous. Crypto hat, well, I've looked at some of them. They're not anywhere as good as the t-shirts, but I may get somebody to design one for me. Let me see what Booze and Bitcoin's design team looks like, because she's killing it with the t-shirts. I may need to get a hat from her. Great day for Bitcoin. Absolutely may see it push to 7,000 with FOMO, fear of missing out. And the volatility to me is great for traders, because either way, up or down, you know how to take your positions, things of that nature. So I do want to remind people that as far as trading goes and the market with Bitcoin, fundamental and technical analysis, you got to make sure when people are euphoric and people are yelling it's going to go up forever, you got to remember to be prepared for altcoins coming. And Ebenezer, I'm about to talk about that now. One of the things I want to, the orange background is for BTC. But one of the biggest things you want to realize is anytime a big jump like this happens, we hit an all-time high with overall market cap. Make sure you realize that a lot of times the euphoria is what pushes it down. A lot of people buying. I saw people getting liquidated, which is hilarious. They were getting liquidated at the top because they were just kind of buying at a rapid pace when they didn't actually do any research, any fundamental research. If you watch me for any period of time, if you watch King, if you watch our show together for any period of time, we always encourage staying ahead of the pack. So if you're thinking about buying Bitcoin right now, may want to wait for a pullback. However, for those of you who are, you've been watching us for a while now, you probably just want to get some and long-term just hold it. Because when you have a futures option coming into Bitcoin, you have to remember, institutional investors are not about to lose money. They're just not going to. Let's see. What's it say? Instagram threw baby dreads on my feed this morning as a sponsor ad. Who is baby? Oh man, all right, yeah, yeah. I don't have anything to do with that. Won't really see any sponsored ads from me or probably from King or us together at all. We're doing it the hard way, organically, getting to the people. And oh yeah, Mr. BitConnect, yeah. We tried to. I will say, let me touch on that for a second before I move on to U.S. Treasury stuff. The BitConnect question, I'm sure people have brought it up over and over. Like I said, I put in $100 like 2 years ago and forgot about it, just heard about it, and I don't really mess with it anymore. I haven't logged in since then. I don't really support it. I kind of was wary of it, and for those of you who do, yeah, that's on you. But I will say, don't be surprised if you wake up one morning and you can't get on or you can't withdraw your BTC, your Bitcoin, because you don't have control of your private keys. There's different ways that you can loan it out or do lending and make money from that, but that's not my cup of tea. So, but yeah, back to trading the CME trading futures. One of the biggest things I think people need to realize about CME, the company that's doing this, guess who is one of the companies who actually supports their corporate bonds? They made this deal back in 2012. JP Morgan. Yes, Jamie Dimon, the infamous dinosaur Jamie Dimon. He is the CEO of Chase. His company, of JP Morgan Chase, his company actually did a deal with corporate bonds with CME. So it's kind of it's almost at the point now where it's so transparent of the fraud that they're trying to pull. Let's see, the loud ones are the ones who don't have faith long term. The quiet ones are just we're more quiet. We're putting out information. We're not really looking for people to support us. If you do, you do. Thank you once again. We love all of you all, but if you don't, I don't care. More Bitcoin for me. But absolutely big news that CME is trading futures, but even bigger that JP Morgan, you can look it up right now. JP Morgan is one of the companies that actually supports them with corporate bonds and being able to clear funds going back and forth. So the FUD you saw from Jamie Dimon back in August, where you saw the price drop to 2,900. We called it then. We figured that was a play for them to buy in at a super low price. And then when they finally make their announcement, which they did today, then what's going to happen is the price or the value that they've put into it will basically be at a point of no return. They'll have these monster returns where they can take chances in the future, and they'll already be rich. So I want to remind people, these people who have futures, options, trading contracts, 120 hedge funds have gotten in this year. They are not trying to lose money. I can tell you that right now. They are not, and this is not the housing bubble, which is controlled by exterior forces. This is not the dot-com bubble, not even close to the market cap they had. So please don't listen to the news telling you, oh yeah, this is it, this is over. Of course, we may see a correction, or we will see a correction because people will sell their profits. Some people will panic sell. However, long term, it's looking like we will hit that 7.5 to 10K range by the end of the year. And Joya and Justin, oh yeah, thank you for joining. Damon, oh man, long time no talk. Yeah, thanks for joining. Kanisha. So back to I'm not dealing with Craig Wright, Bitcoin Trade. They're doing their own thing. Remember, people, especially those of you who see color before anything, not all black people are on BitConnect. That's not the only thing we talk about. I am a Bitcoin person. I've been in it for 4 years now, and I actually immerse myself in the ecosystem to do stuff with cryptocurrency and stuff that doesn't look right. I don't do it. So yeah, that's not me. But you can take your issues up with them, but that's not me. So in other news, we also have a U.S. trade. Yeah, you'd be surprised how many people were like, "Oh, you're not talking about BitConnect? You black." So what? That don't have nothing to do with nothing. I'm a crypto trader who happens to be black. So, but the U.S. Treasury, they've actually called for more blockchain. We're seeing this across the board. Governments, big banks, they're calling for more blockchain development. And for some of my new people who are coming in now, if you don't know, blockchain is the backbone of Bitcoin technology. That is what actually verifies the payments and the transactions. without a third party. And that technology has basically changed the world already, but it will change it even more going forward because, yeah, you got the blockchain user for voting. A lot of people are using it for, or want to use it for health records. Some people want to use blockchain technology for simple city and state traffic citation stuff, where you don't have to show up at a at the courthouse. I've seen that idea kicked around. That'll take a while because you got to go through bureaucracy. But yeah, the U.S. Treasury is actually calling for more blockchain development. So two things. One, we did an almost entire show about blockchain jobs, about how if you're in the industry, you can either get a blockchain job, you doing what you already do, or you can learn how to code and become a blockchain developer, which is probably going to be the highest in demand job in 2018, blockchain developers, because all of these companies, a lot of these, hey, what's up, Quinn? Still got a link with you, brother. But a lot of these companies are trying to get blockchain developers because they see the writing on the wall. There is no reason to use the tech that we have today when we have blockchain technology. So now that they realize that, people like the U.S. Treasury, I sort of compare it to if you ever seen a Saturday Night Live skit where Christopher Walken was talking about more cowbell. He was like, I got a fever, and the only prescription is more cowbell. That's what these companies sound like. Is like we have a problem, and the only way to fix it is with blockchain technology. We're slow. Our fees, we charge too much, but we want to control it. So with blockchain technology, that is what's happening right now. You're starting to see these companies jump on the bandwagon, so to say, and hopefully it ends up where you can get in and get your money as well. So a couple things I want to go through news-wise. Is this not really related to Bitcoin? However, it is related to Bitcoin. If you saw a story, let's see, 1 million new accounts, classes, 1 million. I can see that definitely. But if you follow the Royal Mint, Royal Canadian Mint, they actually found a sealed gold bar, which was fake, 100% fake. And it was sealed literally with the plastic in the Canadian Mint, and all these pieces of gold are supposed to be real and stamped, meaning that when you get it from them, that's your gold. And when I was reading the news story, one of the good points that I saw was that counterfeiters, they don't make one fake $50 bill, they make plenty. So if you got one fake gold bar that they found, it's confirmed fake by 2 different sources, there's probably plenty more. So for all those gold bugs, if you got family members, I personally know people who are like, getting gold is steady, getting gold. They were telling me that the entire time I'm buying Bitcoin. And in my opinion, Bitcoin is better. Simply, I mean, you can find fake gold. There is no fake Bitcoin. There are altcoins who have copied Bitcoin. You got Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Dark and Bitcoin whatever. But there is no way to have fake Bitcoin. You can have fake gold, obviously, but when it's coming from the Royal Canadian Mint, which is one of the places where you're supposed to have 100% guaranteed real gold, you're starting to look at, you're starting to tip the edge of where we get to fraud. People are basically selling you gold and fake gold or whatnot, which means that the supply of gold may actually be less. So if the supply of gold is less, that price is obviously going up. So if you're one of those people who believe that gold is the future, gold is this, gold is that, whatever, you can't divide it, you can't spend it on anything, and it's controlled by people who you've never met before. With Bitcoin, you control your own private keys. It's verifiable on the blockchain. You can look at your transactions. You can send it to anybody you want anytime. Try sending gold across the world. That'll take you a few days and a few fees, and you'll probably get some looks from the IRS or the government. I mean, it's a whole it's a clusterfuck, so to say. So what you want to do is make sure with Bitcoin, gold is pretty trash as far as a long-term investment because it moves so slow. Bitcoin did in 9 years what gold did in 100. If you need a comparison. So if you're one of those people that's thinking about buying gold for investment, I mean, you want to, make your portfolio spread out. However, I will say if you buy an ounce of gold and you buy a Bitcoin worth of gold, look in a year and see what actually made you money. I'm willing to bet. I'm willing to bet a lot Bitcoin would be worth more. And I promise you, for those people who are investing in stocks as well, because for those of you who are looking at stocks, you can't spend stocks. You can't actually take out the stock money that you get without a large fee. And on top of that, the growth of stocks is so slow, it's impossible for you to see any gains for that before you're 50, 60 years old, life-changing gains. Because with Bitcoin, one of the things we're looking at is we're talking about a legacy of money being passed through your family because of Bitcoin. And for those of you who haven't, been in Bitcoin for a while, if you are one of those people who were here a year ago, Bitcoin was worth $600. Literally a year ago in October, it was worth $600, and going forward, right now it's at 63.86 or something like that. Right now, we're talking about 10 times your money in a year. There is no IRA, there is no stock, there is no gold, silver, there is nothing out there that you can make 10 times your money in a year. Now, is this a pump and dump scam, Ponzi scheme, whatever? No. If you still think that, or if you have family members who think that, point them to the article where the biggest derivatives market traders in the world just declared that they'll be trading Bitcoin due to demand. And for those of you who thought the government would shut it down or who's going to stop it, one of the things you have to remember about the government and remember about people in control is follow the money. If it can make them money, they will find a way to regulate it or to have it. It's not really about good and bad. It's not really about what's wrong. It's about money. They want to make money. So now that they see they can, and before the price of Bitcoin hits 10,000, they definitely have an opportunity to make money. They will use it. And by they, I mean people who are more powerful than you, people who have more money than you. If they see an opportunity, they will take it. The only news stories that are usually put out are negative, which kind of clouds the judgment of a lot of people. That's why people like me and King are here, who have been in it for years, so that you can see that there are real people who are using it, who have literally changed, a lot of their lifestyle. Changed a lot of things they were able to do with smart investment and being able to use it. Those are the few of the things you need to remember with this trading futures, because this is huge news. As far as news goes, this is almost as big as it gets. And even though we have that, we still have countries that will ban Bitcoin, such as Vietnam, which you may have seen in the news. Vietnam don't really care about the Vietnamese that much. Obviously, the Bitcoin market does, because they want to ban all cryptocurrency payments, and the price just hit an all-time high regardless. So nobody really is looking at the bad news anymore, because as someone who's been in it 4 years, I've seen everything. I've seen Warren Buffett say not to get into it, and then people say, oh, well, Warren Buffett says it, so it must be right. Warren Buffett is old. He is a dinosaur. He has not seen the actual tech of Bitcoin work to the point where he can actually come out and say support Bitcoin, because he's too large stake in other options, other people. Who knows? And if you're following these people who are telling you don't buy Bitcoin is bad, they're probably buying it themselves, and they don't want you to buy it, because that is freedom. Bitcoin is the ability to control your money without the use of a third party. This is exactly what people have been looking for. And I've got a lot of messages from people who talk about economic things, who talk about building, communities. Warren Buffett was ancient before this growth. You're right, Antonio. His calls on stuff and him, whatever, his time has ran out. A lot of people my age have been flooded with information our entire life, to the point where we see almost everything happen in real time. So when people our age see it, we kind of adjust and move forward. And older people who are not up to date on a lot of technology, who have seen the world change before their eyes, but it's going too fast, they just know what they know. And one of the quotes I always use, me and King always say, is people who, banks and big investors who are older, they usually will eat themselves. And by that, I mean, they'll do what they've always done, which is try to regulate it or try to bash it, say it's bad. But what will happen is the market will say, no, we want this, and we don't really care what you have to say. And this market is not a U.S. market. Remember that, people. So you're getting U.S. news. However, this is an international market. Japan is set to have 250,000 stores in 2018 accept Bitcoin. You have whole countries accepting Bitcoin for tax payments in countries like Sweden. And I mean, it's plenty more countries. People are risking their lives in certain countries to mine Bitcoin. So that should give you an indication of how important it is to have a currency that has a easy barrier of entry and has the ability to change not just your life, but the generations after it. So that's one of the biggest things with this news I want to put. And a reminder, I was reading an article just about back in the day, how eBay tried to destroy PayPal when they first came out. Literally destroy PayPal because they used the same tactics. They said they're not regulated. They're not the digital money that they're using isn't actually going through banks. They use all type of news stories and FUD. This is back in the early 2000s, late 90s. And nowadays, in 2017, 20 years later, what is PayPal? It's a verb. It's basically everybody uses it, everybody trusts it, and that is where Bitcoin is headed. Today was just basically confirmation of that, because anytime new technology comes, people who have money staked in the old way, they're going to try and protect their investment until they can get enough good position in the new technology to make money, and then you'll see that wording change, which is what we're starting to see with some of these investments. Let's see. Jeff Sprecher, NYSE chairman, he said he doesn't understand the tech. Yep. Yeah, NYSE chairman. Like just commented. He says he doesn't understand the tech, which is like 99% of these people that get on CNBC and all these other shows, they don't understand the tech. They don't even they can't really even wrap their mind around it. So they just say it's bad. Don't use it. We don't like it. But I will say that if you showed a cell phone to somebody in the 1950s, they would have freaked out too. So anything that's ahead of its time and is happening at a rapid pace, it's always going to freak out institutional and older people. And if you are one of those people who is not really tech savvy and don't really know how to get into it, how to use it, that's what we're here for. We're literally here to bridge the gap between cryptocurrency and the community. A lot of the terms may be confusing. Some of the stuff may not make sense to you. However, you do have to read, you do have to learn, but that's why people like us are here to help and go from there. So let's see, big traders. Yeah, I've talked to, for those of you who also too are in the stocks, I've talked to a lot of stock and Forex traders. When you ask them about it, they usually are parrots of what CNBC or whatever other news station told them. Now, CNBC has kind of flipped with Brian Kelly, who's a name you should know if you're in the space. He's actually advocated for cryptocurrency. He helped get the CME deal done. Once you start seeing that on the news, they're starting to change their talk about it. They're not even saying it's bad anymore. They're basically saying, oh, just be cautious because it may be a bubble. It could be a bubble. Nobody's actually come out and not supported it because, like I said, rich people like money. And if there's an opportunity to make money, it will be made. So with that being said, that's our show for today. I don't have much for you. I just know that for those of you who are trading today, congratulations if you had a long position. But I will say you want to stay ahead of the curve. So if you think Bitcoin is going to keep going up forever without a correction, you are mistaken, and you need to look at some altcoins. And I do understand that most people, they're even more, scared of altcoins than they are of Bitcoin. But you do have to realize these are long-term investments. These are companies just starting from the ground up. Most of the products you see today, they've been around for decades, so they've had time to retool and make everything correct. Cryptocurrency, however, is less than 10 years old. All of it is less than 10 years old. Its 9th birthday is January 3rd of when the first block was mined, so it's still very young. So if you're looking at long-term investment, congratulations. You're part of the 1%, so to say, of people who know about Bitcoin or are actively trying to use it. And from that point, it should be pretty easy to get into the space. We have Bitcoin ATMs, and you can always hit us up at Kirby Crypto, KRBECRYPTO on Twitter and Instagram, and Facebook as well. You can hit us up at KRBE Crypto. And for today, the free Bitcoin, I really want to see what people think about what's going to happen with Bitcoin before 2x, because with this huge jump in this CME news, a lot of people are predicting a price pump and then a drop leading up to November 16th, which is when SegWit 2x went out. So what we'll do is we'll give away free Bitcoin to whoever has the best explanation for the price that they think Bitcoin will go to. Comment on the YouTube page after the video's down, and we'll make sure to send out that free Bitcoin for today as well as yesterday. We'll send that out as well. So thank you for watching. This is Bitcoin Zay, and I'll see you next time.